video session in Melbourne today. We're going to have two more presentations, then we'll serve some coffee and cake and you can have a bit of a chat to the directors then. But please put your hands together for Andrew Tunks, who's going to present on behalf of Midro Brazil. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here today. I'm a Melbourne boy. I grew up just in Richmond and I spent a lot of my life working overseas. But I live here again now, and so I always feel great in front of the Melbourne audience and go the Tigers. Yes, I can see a few people complaining, but standard disclaimer, and I heard someone refer to that before, so we'll just keep moving. Meteoric's been around for a while, okay, since 2004, and it's done a bunch of things. I came into the company about 18 months ago on the basis that it had picked up some cobalt and some nickel stuff in Canada, and I got involved in that, and I looked at that initially, and I was quite buoyant when I first got involved. Later, as I started to look at the geology of those projects, I thought, gee, this is not as good as I thought, and particularly the cobalt projects. The Ontario Cobalt Belt at this stage has delivered nothing from anyone, not just us, you know. And so I went to my board and I said, I think we have to make a change. I think we have to go and do something else. And my board were very supportive, and they said, go out and find something else to do. And I'm a gold guy. Okay, I did my PhD on gold deposits. I've spent my life working in Africa and around the world on gold deposits. So I was very bullish on that. So that's a brief history of the company. Because we've been around for a long time, we've got a lot of shares, just under 1 billion shares, 100 million in options, mostly to directors and senior advisors. And we've just raised some money only last week, but that money's come in. So we've got about 4.5 million. Our major shareholder is Tolga Kumovat, who's another Melbourne boy who's done very well, MD of Syrah Resources, and is now a full-time investor. And he's been a very fantastic shareholder. And every time we raise money, he puts more money in, and he's in fact recently increased his stake. So today's story is about the new gold project that we've acquired, and it's here in central Brazil, in the state of Mato Grosso, and it's really two projects, but I have to tell you, when we bought it, I was really thinking Jarina, one of those two projects. And so today's story is a bit of an evolution as to how we think about it and how we're exploring it. And here's what's happened since we made that acquisition. So we made that acquisition at 1 cent. Okay? People who got in there, pretty happy, because today I think we're at 5.6 cents. Even yesterday, speaking to a group not nearly as handsome as this in Sydney, certainly a lot older, maybe more senile, I hope no one's taking this. You know, so this stock is going gangbusters at the moment. And I'm going to tell you, you're not too late. We're at the start of a discovery. That's really clear to me, geologically. It is not too late. Great volumes in our stock, 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 million sometimes a day. You can get in, you can get out, you can trade it. Although when it's always going up, it's hard to trade. But anyway. And it's going up on the back of news. Real news, not hype. It's not a pump. When we bought the project, we started to release some of the most amazing grades you've ever seen, and I'll talk about those. We talked about, in record time, getting out and drilling projects. Okay? We had to recruit staff. It's a new country. We had to recruit staff. We had to get vehicles, all the stuff that you have to do to go and explore in record time. We've recently started talking about Novo Astro, the second project. We raised some capital only 2 weeks ago, and then our very first hole at Jarina hit visible gold. So I'm feeling pretty good about the world at the moment. So let me tell you a little bit more about the project. Firstly, we own 100% of it. We bought it for $1 million in cash and $500,000 in stock from Crusader Resources, who'd fallen on hard times for a variety of corporate reasons. They've got nothing to do with this project. It's a cracking project. It's been mined since the 1980s by the garimpeiros of Brazil, the illegal miners. Okay, and in 1980 there was 30,000 people here. It was the second biggest garimpeiro in Brazil. Some of you will have known and heard about Colossus, the one where you see people going up the walls like ants. Everything's mined by hand. This was the second biggest one next to Colossus. But because the Amazon is super wet, they couldn't go super deep. So So they've been stopped by the water. So all the workings stop at about 20 metres deep. But they've produced somewhere between 500,000 and 1 million ounces of gold in that top 20 metres. So when you start to look at this, you immediately think, well, it's all alluvial. It's all in the modern river systems. It's come from somewhere else. That's not the case. We have 40,000 metres of drilling here by previous companies that shows that this goes down and it's in the bedrock. So that's the first thing that really excited me. There's some amazing patches in this, some amazing bonanza patches. We talk to the local Garimperos and they say, you know, we pulled out $2 million worth of gold in here in a day, right, in one little patch. So it's a very exciting project. What's the other reason I liked it? Now, for those of you who don't know gold mining and don't know what we do, or might be new to the mining space, when we drill a hole, we measure an intersection and we measure a grade, a thickness and a grade. And if you multiply those two numbers together, you get here a grade thickness. In effect, it's a quality of the intersection. And so if you go out and look at gold releases and people say, well, we drilled 10 metres at 4 grams, and that's a good result. 10 times 4 is 40. So the number in this column would be 40. That's a good result. Look at the numbers here. 3.6 times 500, nearly 2,000. I mean, these are unheard of. As soon as I saw this historic drilling, my chief geo's over there, Pete, we were like, we just got to have this project. This is an exceptional exploration project. These are some of the best drill results that you will see. We're drilling there right now. Our first hole hit visible gold. I expect that we'll be able to replicate some of these in our drilling. So that's the first reason that I wanted the project. The second reason was a bigger picture reason. So we're in what's called the Alta Floresta geological belt. It's an east-west trending Paleoproterozoic belt. Who cares? Geology, who cares, right? But it's produced about 7 million ounces of gold. Who knows how much from the Garimperos? But about 18 months ago, in this area here, Anglo American, the equivalent of BHP and Rio, made a discovery. They didn't talk about it in the market, just like Rio and Winu in the Patterson. Everyone knew they were onto something. They drilled, you could see, they built an airstrip. All these rigs coming, 100 guys in the bush. Everyone knows something's going on. You can see it on Google Earth. Rio don't say anything. Anglo exactly the same. They don't say anything, but they picked up 4 million hectares in the belt overnight. So they made a porphyry copper discovery, a porphyry copper gold discovery. Really unusual in these rocks, but it set the Alta Floresta belt on fire. All the majors moved in. Codelco, Vale, Freeport, Anglo. So this whole belt is going nuts, just like the Patterson in Australia. And under everyone's guard, we've come in and we've picked up one of the premier projects in the whole belt. One of the only ones with a resource. We got $1 million. We paid $1 million some stock for 100% of the project. I've got to tell you, pretty pleased with myself. Reason 3, it's got a JORC resource. We all know how important a resource is. It gives people confidence that it's a real number, right? But we're just at the start. This is too small to start a mine. We're going to grow this, and we're drilling here right now. But I'd like to direct your attention to a couple of numbers here. Look at the grade of the high-grade portion of the resource, 15 grams. Look at the grade of the indicated portion of the resource, nearly an ounce. What's the greatest mine in the gold mine in the world at the moment? It's right here in Victoria, Fosterville, producing at about those grades. It's extremely rare. Okay, so this is an extremely high-grade, small gold deposit at the moment. Our drilling is all predicated on growth and growing it. You can see some of the spectacular free gold that's been historically drilled. So we're there right now. We're drilling. We've had to recruit staff. We've had to do all the things. You can see all the old Garimpero workings. The Garimpero is still there. They're still fudging around, pulling out a bit of gold here and there. How many? A couple hundred in the town, maybe 30 or 40 guys working. They work in the dry season only. The wet's too wet for them. You know, you can't get around. So it's very seasonal. We pay them a per hole fee to come in and access their land. And we have 2 rigs on site at the moment. Our very first hole hit fantastic visible gold. And I said to these guys, I was writing the release, and I said, stand in front of the core and give me a photo with you all smiling. Have a look at it. Jesus Christ. Peter, why aren't you smiling? Come on. It's fantastic, right? Visible gold in the core. It's at the assay lab at the moment. The first 3 holes are at the assay lab. We'll expect the results in the next couple of weeks. assays are going to come back with. Okay, who knows? That's the joy of exploration. You never know what you're going to get. But when you see visible gold in the core, you can expect that those numbers will be pretty good. And as part of a much broader alteration zone. So what are the ore bodies that are drilled out? Only two. That resource really comes from two areas, Donna Maria and Kerosene. There's another 12 that have got spectacular hits in them that are not drilled to resource status. There is a lot of work to do at Sharina before the story's told. And people say, when are you going to mine? Like, when am I going to mine when I know how big it is? Right? So not yet. But you can see it's a pretty standard ore body. It's quite narrow, somewhere between maybe a minimum of 1 metre up to maybe 15 metres at times. It's classic inches and swells. It's a shear zone within a granite. Gold deposits like this form from hot water coming from depth. The gold comes in with the hot water and other stuff, other metals, and it redeposits in these fault zones, like an earthquake zone. Okay, and that tells us that it's coming from depth, and we see all these fantastic indicators here. We see copper, we see silver, we see moly, we see a whole bunch of trace elements and a whole bunch of textures that tells us that we're in the porphyry copper environment. And so this is super exciting, and this is absolutely our focus. But there could also be a tier 1 porphyry copper here, right? So who knows? It's got excellent metallurgy. Okay, Crusader did us a great favour and have already done some of the metallurgical test work. I think it's about 45% comes out in the gravity, the rest comes out with the standard cyanide leach. So we see this at some stage being a series of open pits on the main structures and then some narrow classic underground gold mining. Who knows how big it's going to be? And then, and guys, many of you people are the same age as my dad. You know, he used to love TV and he used to love those ads that were like, don't answer how much you pay because you also get, right, the steak knives or whatever else it was. He was a great sucker for the extra thing. And we really bought this project for Sharina, 100%. I don't think we really looked at the data from here at all. When we, you know, we were focused in on what we were going to do here, and this was the goal. And when we looked at this from a satellite perspective, we thought this might be alluvial. In other words, all the gold that's been mined, because there's a huge garimperite here as well, was in the modern river system. So it's come from somewhere else. But no, we've gone out there in the last month and we've started to look at the rocks. And what we see is that the gold is actually in the basement. And this is one of the giant geochemical anomalies that is like kilometres across. This is the gold in soils. These are our 4 main projects. I'm going to teach you some Portuguese now. Jose is Joseph, Graca is Grace, Mateus is Matthew, and Bodhi is Bodhi. And I have 4 children, and so that's their names. I'm so confident about this, I've actually named those prospects after my children. So we're going to be drilling there very soon. This is why we're confident. We can see the veins, we can see the alteration, the brecciation, argillic alteration. Any geos in the crowd will know how important that is in the porphyry copper system. Fresh pyrite, so not deeply oxidised. We've announced yesterday some amazing grab samples. You know, there's previous grab samples up to 250. We had a 290. We think that this is another gold deposit. It has never been drilled. Amazing. In Australia, this has got 50,000 metres in it. Running out of time, we see both alluvial, so mining of the modern river systems here, but also big primary structures, big faults with shear zones. Our gold sampling tells us that that's where the gold is for us, the underground, the deeper stuff. So we think it's a very exciting project. I raised $2.7 million last week, and this is why. I had plans to drill, once we recognised how good Sharina was, I said, let's plant a few holes. But to do that, I had to take holes away from Sharina and put them in at Novo Astro, because I didn't have enough money to really do both. But the more excited we got about this, we decided to push a small capital raise out. We raised $2.7 million, and that will fund a preliminary exploration program here of about 2,500 to 3,000 metres of drilling. We're going to try and mobilise in the next 20 days. It's more staff, it's a new exploration office. You can't drive between the 2 sites. It's only 30 kilometres, but the roads are not great. We are in the southern edge of the Amazon. So logistically it's difficult, but we're ready to go. I'm just going to say, what drives people to buy shares? Fear of missing out. And you might look at our stock and say, shit, it's gone from 1 cent to 5 cents, I'm too late. But let me give you a couple of Australian examples. Bellevue Gold. drilling exactly the same sort of things that we're drilling. They've got a big resource and they're rightfully valued at $300 million. Spectrum Metals, Penny West in the Archean of Western Australia, small resource, but cracking intercepts, same as what we're drilling. Meteoric, we've got a market cap of about $55 million. These numbers tell me that you're not too late, okay? We are still undervalued and there's a lot to run in our story yet. And that will only continue, and here's the great prize, because Novo Astro is a new undiscovered without a single drill hole in it. And look what happens when you make a major discovery, right? Two famous Australian examples, Sirius, Nickel, and Sandfire Resources, who we've heard about today from Matt, okay? Billion-dollar company now, share prices less than 5 cents, share price less than 1 cent to over $3. This is what happens when you make a discovery. This is why you're here in this audience today. Otherwise, you'd be talking to your broker about investing in BHP. Taking the clip, take a 5%, who cares, right? If you come to these things, you're looking for a 10 bag or plus. If you got in on my stock early, you've already got 5, but there's a lot more. Don't feel you're going to miss out. It's not too late. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Great to be back in Melbourne.
Thank you, Andrew. Yes, good luck to Richmond, but you must remember my team Carlton will beat Fremantle. Fremantle beat Geelong, so really Carlton's the best team in the comp.